Hey, it's BrickTsar, and I'm excited to show you something I've actually been working on for a few days, actually since we got the 50 years on track. As you know, my collection is very unorganized, so I've been working on organizing it, and I wanted to show you all the trains that I like from the 50 years on track that we have, which is 5 of the 6. The 6th one is this one, the holiday train, which you can still buy in stores now, I think. But anyway, this is also in response to a question from Pedro Pinto, who just asked the other day on the review for the 50 years on track. He said, the next step is pretty clear. Who better than you to get those original sets out of storage, build them, and do a side-by-side comparison with their smaller replicas from the set? Best comparison video ever? I hope so. And I've actually put aside doing a lot of other things. Normally I do a video every day on Trains Are Fun, but I've been so focused on getting these out and finding them. The hardest one to find was the Monorail. The hardest one to build was the Motorized Train Set. In fact, I broke some pieces along the way. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see where I broke some pieces. But the other ones were built. I just had to find them. So let's get to the comparison. Alright, so the Motorized Train Set, the one from 1966, set 113. This is the train that came with it. Obviously, they only used the locomotive, which also, interestingly enough, is the same locomotive from set 112. And this one, let's see, they pretty much got the, everything's the same. I remember when we did the review, we talked about how you got this big portion here. That's the battery box. It's got the on-off switch. The motor here goes there, so that's what this part is. It's got the couplers. Now I have the 2x4 couplers. I think they built this with the 2x2. I think that's what it originally had, was the 2x2 couplers, and the set actually works better with the 2x2 couplers. There are a few different inventories of this set. Some different printed pieces were in different releases, I think, but we're going with this, what we got here. Alright, so this thing was impossible. I mean, I broke some 1x2 bricks building it. Some of these pieces don't stick good. I can never get these slopes to stick. In fact, I cracked 2 of the slopes trying to get them to stick to this battery box. So they're just kind of hanging in there. They're not. If you're like, why don't you push that down? I can't. They won't. I tried for like 30 minutes to get these 6 pieces to connect there, and they just would not. And the clutch power is either too tight or too loose with those 1960s bricks. So the train came with more than the locomotive. Now, that would have been really cool, but it probably would have been too many pieces for them to do it. But it would have been cool if they had made the cars that went with this, the passenger car and the baggage car. That would have been awesome. So that is the first one, the Motorized Train Set, set 113, the original and the miniature replica. So next we'll do the Western Train Set. Here is the original. So it actually came as the instructions for the 50 years on track. It talked about the cowboy and the brick-built horses, and it came with it. But obviously they only did the locomotive. Yellow windows. They used windows for the lantern. They used the wheel for the front of the train there. See the blue magnet, red magnet, buffers. Those little round pieces are the buffers on the front there. So pretty good. And then you see you got the connecting rod here. It actually touches the wheel, but maybe I should have slid that back. No, that's the way they got it in the instructions. This is the connecting rods. And slopes. Trying to see what else. It's actually a little bit different, but that is the Western Train Set from 1976, set 726. This was one of my fastest locomotives. It's a 12-volt train. It's got those power pickups in the middle there, so you don't actually need batteries. You use the blue 12-volt track, or right on the gray 12-volt track as well. But that thing was fast. in the video we did for that. So that is the Western train. So now we'll go to the monorail, and interestingly, they have the back of the train as the model. I forgot about this when we were reviewing this, the monorail transport system, 1987. When you build it, this is the front part, and that's where the pilot sits. The back of the train, that's where the battery box is, the 9-volt battery box. We were talking about how they wish they had the 9V right here. So they actually did the back of the train as the main model, mainly because that's the part that makes the train go. That's the motor, and that's the battery box. You put a regular 9-volt battery in it, and then there's gears on the bottom of this motor. That's what makes it move on that single monorail. There's gears on that middle rail, like here. So they wouldn't be, the gear wouldn't be on top. It'd actually be on the sides there. All right, I messed this thing up. But so that is the monorail transport system, and this one they use the supports. I guess I could have got the supports out and set them up, but I didn't. But that is what they based it on there. They used the hockey sticks. Actually, that's what I lost one of these. One of these fell off in storage, and I had a hard time finding it. I got extras. I just don't know where they are. That's why I got to get my inventory organized. Oh, look, there's another piece missing right there. There's a white dish that should be there. And got one. I'm going to have to really inventory that set again when we get it all together, because I've had to rob some of the pieces from it. We had 3 of these at one time. I don't know if I still have all 3 of them, but that was one of our favorite LEGO sets in general, let alone favorite train sets. So next up is the Metroliner. This is just a classic passenger train, and this one they really did a good job in getting the locomotive very similar. You got the door, the windows, spacing is right. Got the grill there, the stripe. Of course, the stripe is the same width. And here, this is what I was talking about when we did the review of the 50 years on track. See how close the wheels are there, but where the motor is, they're spaced further apart. So they even did that with the 50 years on track. It's pretty cool. Metroliner. There are the videos I referenced. They showed the club cars. That was actually a separate set that you would buy. The club car and this set, like many of the LEGO train sets, they had alternate builds where you could build another one. I got a video that we did years ago of that. I don't know if I ever posted on YouTube, but we did a video of the alternate build and did some on train views with a camera back then. I don't know, I have to find those videos, but that's the Metroliner. All right, and then of course the Emerald Knight. This is one I really regret selling the extras. I had 4 of these. I sold 3 sealed copies of them, and the reason I bought 4 is I wanted to get. I was going to rob them of the passenger car so I can make a longer train, maybe even make an extra tender for make it like the Flying Scotsman on Thomas and Friends. But I sold them. That's one I always say I accidentally sold, because they were in my store. I put them at a high price at that time from what I paid for them, and it's almost like the week they discontinued it on Shop at Home, that's when they sold, and I was like, man, I wish I had put them at a higher price. But anyway, that's what it looks like. You just get the engine, not the tender. That part's the same. Those little 2 little studs. It's the same there. I don't know. What do you think? I think they did a really good job. They couldn't, I guess, obviously do the stripes here. That would have been too thick a scale, or you'd had to use some kind of stickered or printed piece there. And they used these. What's the color? Those. You know what I mean? Instead of where the number was for the set, they just used those plates there. No connecting rod, so they left that off on the micro model. They had the connecting rod on the Western train, but not on the Emerald Knight. But still, it's really awesome as I knock over the Monorail. It fell. And this one, I'm not comparing it because I am not wasting my money on the winter holiday train. I know a lot of people have, do like that set. You can probably still get it. I don't know if they've discontinued it. They may have. But I like these classics here. So I hope you enjoyed this comparison. It's probably the only place you're going to be able to see this. The comparison. And like I said, I could compare all of them if I chose to buy the other one, but I do not want to buy that one. So again, now that you've seen the originals that they were based on, I think people are going to always be partial to the modern versions, and then you'll have a group of us that are partial to the monorail, because everybody wants the monorail to come back. And then these are so basic that they're not going to be as popular, I think. But just think of where LEGO has come over those 50 years. Now, this is why I love the set. I mean, this was our introduction to LEGO trains. It wasn't the very first LEGO train set, as far as a LEGO set, but it's the first complete working motorized LEGO train set that, you know, you could have the track and everything that came with it. Some of the earlier trains were just locomotives. This was in the 70s. They did make a lot of good LEGO train sets in the 70s, but some of them just kind of had a toyish look to them, or a cartoonish look to them. They still hadn't advanced. It wasn't until the 80s, and we mentioned in the video before, we would have liked to have seen an 80s representation from the 80s train sets, but they had to include the monorail because it's critical, and they only made 3 monorail sets. So I do agree that they had this, but it would have been cool if they could have added also one of the classic 1980s 12-volt trains. And then the 90s, perfect choice for the 90s. This is one of the best LEGO train sets in the 90s. And for the knots, that was pretty good as well. Don't like the choice for the 2010s there. But anyway, which is your favorite? And please leave the comments below what you like, what you don't like, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, BrickTsar.